For Doug Stephenson, everybody. All right, let's put our hands together for our host, Ryan Holman. How is everybody doing tonight? Good, good. You know, I got a bit of a complaint I want to voice out right now. I was at the grocery store the other day. I overheard two guys talking, and you know, the only reason it caught my attention is one of the guys, out of nowhere, told him he had a 12-inch dick. Kinda don't know where that came up in conversation. So, of course, I listened in. And out of curiosity, I don't know about any of the other guys, but I've never asked another man how big his dick is. I really don't give a fuck, and I don't want to be let down that I'm smaller. But, you know, my big problem with it is, one, I don't believe you. You're full of shit. You do not have a 12-inch dick. And two, like, did he ask you something? Like, where's the canned soup? Instead of saying aisle 5, you told him you had a 12-inch dick. That makes perfect sense. But honestly, everybody knows you're full of shit. I mean, you don't have a round number for a dick size, okay? You didn't slap the ruler on the counter, lay your dick on top of it and say, oh, look at that. Didn't even have to get a second ruler, it was perfect. Like, if you're gonna do it, like, throw in some 1/4 inches in there, like, you know, 10 3/4 inches. Then we think you're real. That's legitimate right there. This guy put the time in, and he knows how to read a ruler, frankly. Good for you, sir. But also, and you guys can check this out, I do not care, I know for a fact I'm right, the largest dick on record is 13.5 inches. Woo! It wasn't yours, sir. But honestly, 13.5 inches, do you really expect me to believe that you, guy wearing a wife beater and torn jeans from Abercrombie at Pick and Save in Milwaukee, lost by just this much? Come on, dude. You're full of shit and you know it. But even more troubling is, how do they find out who has the biggest dick in the world? Like, for consistency purposes, they have to have the same guy measuring every dick, right? Like, I'm sure they have, like, preliminaries, like, they'll do, like, an eyeball, like, clearly you didn't win, but there's gotta be someone in there that's measuring the close winners right there. And, like, I'm just imagining you walk in there and he measures it, and maybe it was just cold that day in the office, so you lost by a little bit, but I just imagine this guy measuring it and leaning out of the examination room and seeing a bunch of dicks, just a row of dicks. You know, calls in the next guy, measures him, oh, congratulations, you have the biggest dick in the world. But, like, how does that happen? Where do you fuck up in life that that's what society trusts you with doing? What test at medical school did you fail that you get to measure dicks for the rest of your life? That's not a point of pride. You're not gonna pick up a girl at a bar saying, yeah, I measure penises. Like, no girl wants to hear that right before you bought her that drink she's drinking right now. You were basically giving another man a hand job. I mean, he didn't finish, but it still counts. But, I mean, you think about it, there's this insecurity with all men about their dick sizes. I don't get it. I'm not insecure. You look in the mirror every morning and say, it'll get the job done. That's all that matters. But these guys, did someone, like, were you in the middle of hooking up with a girl and all of a sudden she pulled your pants down and just stopped? I don't know what to do with that. You're kidding, right? Is there a camera? Like, did this happen to someone? I want to know. Was this like they were overcome with laughter, they couldn't do the deed, they had to fucking leave? Or I think the biggest thing is, and every guy can attest to it, I think it all starts when you first go to a gym, like to work out. You go in there, you sit down, and you meet that guy that everybody knows who takes the locker at the far end of the gym locker room. The showers are over here. And he doesn't believe in wrapping a towel around his waist. And he has the biggest dick you've ever seen in your life. And he just walks. The only reason you know him is you can hear his dick hit knee to knee. There's almost a breeze coming by when he walks by. And this guy's like really a pain in the ass because one, you never recognize him. The only time you recognize him is when he's walking naked in the locker room. I mean, that's it. And the worst part about it is, he totally knows he has a huge dick. That's why he has the towel conveniently thrown around his shoulder instead of around his waist. But he walks around and you hear it and everything, and then the worst part is you'll never recognize him in the gym. He's never working out, he's never swimming, he's never playing basketball. He's walking naked in the men's locker room. And then the worst is he does the weirdest like walk, like he's got a sway in his hips, like almost like a fucking pendulum's just going. And then the worst is, like, he goes up to his locker and he's like doing weird fucking motions with his legs, almost to see if his dick can touch the ground without fully bending his knees. I'm kind of intrigued when this happens to see if it'll actually fucking touch, but... You know, and it's really weird, because then he'll wind up talking to you, and he's not ashamed of it whatsoever, and he always puts his leg up right next to you, just to see if his dick is longer than your face. All right, you folks have been great tonight. Let's bring our host back up here, and enjoy the rest of the evening.